So what is Chair Chi? Chair Chi is a modification of Tai Chi, if you've heard of Tai Chi. It's that gentle exercise it's slow movements while focusing on deep breathing and some meditation involved as well. Tai Chi is kind of a lot like yoga. The main difference comes down to with yoga, you're stretching to relax. With Tai Chi, you relax to stretch. And the relaxation happens through some meditation and periods of inward contemplation. So that's the main difference, but it's slow, low impact or even no impact movements, but also it maintains balance or enhances your balance and strength as well. And that deep breathing that we know is so beneficial. So Chair Chi and Tai Chi, again, it's that slow motion used during Tai Chi. And the slower you're able to go, the better the results. It works against gravity and body weight. That's where the resistance comes in. And it's a great, so it is some weight bearing because you got the gravity and the body resistance, but to help with strength and balance. If it's, it minimally affects your joints and muscles, but using a chair, which we're going to do today, there's essentially zero impact to your joints on that. And I think that's beneficial to a lot of people. And it's also been studied that using a chair does not decrease the effectiveness of the exercise. As a matter of fact, even when you're seated, you're still using your core, you're still using your arms, and you can even use your legs and feet more when you're seated than it was opposed to when you're standing with Tai Chi. Over here, there's a graph or a graphic that talks about Tai Chi in the brain. It's the same thing with Chair Chi, but it does improve our coping skills. We just age better, age healthier. It keeps our brain young. It helps get that oxygen up to our brain, those nutrients flowing to our brain. There's a lot of calmness and relaxation that comes along with it, which is going to reduce our stress, right? And just a general sense of well-being, a better well-being. On here, alleviates muscle or mental imbalance. It helps build up the gray matter in our brain. It helps alleviate symptoms caused by mental stress. It helps improve concentration. It prevents cynical negative thinking or helps prevent cynical negative thinking. So this goes hand in hand with how can we change our thought patterns with doing some physical movement through Tai Chi. So there's really a lot of benefit to Tai Chi and Chair Chi that we're going to do. Right here is some other stuff. It obviously improves your flexibility and your coordination. It improves your immune system, so you're better able to fight off the flu, the cold, anything that might come along. It helps improve your sleep and that good quality sleep. Improves happiness and a sense of well-worth. A lot of studies have shown that it's improved cardiovascular health too. And when you have good cardiovascular health and more endurance, you're going to have better brain health too. Helps reduce or relieve anxiety and stress. Good for muscle mass, good for that bone density, and much, much more. And a lot of things that it does help alleviate the symptoms of pain or alleviate, pain from a variety of things like arthritis, bursitis, tendonitis, and all of those things. When it's practiced regularly, I do want to add that, just like with any stress management technique, we need to do it regularly to really get the full benefit out of it. But right now, I want us to take the time to do this. We're going to follow this video, and it's a 10-minute seated Tai Chi or Chair Chi exercise. Let me know if I can't hear it very well.
All right, so I'm here in a park that's close to my house. Once again, the Learn Tai Chi at Home idea is that whether you're actually in your house, in your living room, you can also take advantage of spaces that are quite close to your home. Like if you have a park nearby, you can just go do Tai Chi there. So this is a park nearby my house.
What's happening? So sorry.
So they provided me with a bench. That was very nice of them. Wherever you are, if you're out in the park, if you're at home on the couch, if you just want to go outside in the garden and sit down on the wall, that's a good opportunity. So let's get started. So let's begin sitting in just a comfortable position. Scoot yourself a little bit forward towards the edge of your chair would be nice. Hands on your knees, feet flat on the floor, head, well, floating up in the air. But don't strain, don't try to sit up in a military posture. Just breathe and relax. Sometimes I like to open up the arms to the sides like this, sort of open up the heart. It helps me open up the breath. And definitely open up and empty out the mind, because you don't actually need to think of anything today. You don't need to remember anything today. You don't need to know anything in advance today. Just let yourself move and breathe and smile, and that's all you need to do. Right now my arms are just floating up and down, just getting a little movement into the body. Inhale. You see, and that'll help you rise. Exhale, and that'll let you fall down. You can even bring your hands back to your lap if you like, in between each one. Breathe in and rise like the wings of a bird. Breathe out and sink down. Beautiful. Now the next time, as the arms rise up, they're going to round out right in front of the body here, like a big hug. And then palms turn down and press down back to your knees again. Slide them across the knees and reach out and round out again. And press down. We call this movement sinking the chi. And it goes along with the breath. Inhaling to rise up. Gather in. Exhaling to sink down. Now slide the hands off of your knees going forward and rise up in front of the body. Not too high, just about chest high. And the elbows sink and fall, float on down. Breathe in, and they rise up in front. Feel yourself getting a little taller as you float your hands up, and then sink into your bum as you let the hands fall. Rising and falling of the chi goes along with the rising and falling of the body. We call this opening the door. Now the hands reach out in front, rise up, and round out once again like the big hug. Inhale and open, and with this hand on top, gather in a big rounded shape, a big holding the ball position. We call it embracing the moon, because the big round shape is a representation of the moon in Tai Chi. The moon is the yin element, the gathering, right? The resting, the contemplating. And then the opening here is the yang, the expanding, the sun rising. And then embracing the moon once again. One more time each side. Inhale and open. Exhale and gather. And then the arms open out again and the fingertips drift back together. Hands turn palm down and float down to your knees once again. Slide off and sink the chi. Nice. Now let your hands dangle down by your sides. Open up the palms, turn the palms out, and as you open up the palms, the heart opens also. And then release. The palms turn backwards. Once again, inhale and open. Open up the shoulders, open up the chest and the heart, and then release. So you're gonna get the heart all open, ready for some connection today. Inhale. Open, exhale, and let it release. Now file that away. We're going to do something else. The head's going to turn to this side, and then I'm going to turn my shoulders. Then I'm even going to just sort of slide on my bum a little bit until I'm looking almost all the way around behind. Then I straighten out my backside, straighten out my shoulders, and bring the head back. Right? Going the other way, the head turns, the shoulders turn. I slide on my rear end a little bit to look all the way behind, and then coming back in opposite order, hips, and then shoulders, and then head. And we're going to add that to the opening of the heart here. So as I turn my head, the heart opens, the palms turn out, they keep on going, adding the shoulders, keep on going, opening the shoulders back as I turn my hips, and then as I come back, I let the arms and the chest and the heart relax. Good. Now the breath helps me as I turn this way. Inhale to open, turn the head, turn the shoulders, still breathing in all the way around, and then breathing out as I come back and release. We call this the wise owl. Looks behind. Inhale. Exhale. You don't have to hold the breath anywhere, by the way. If you need to take 2 breaths to my 1 or 1.5 breaths, you just breathe naturally. Because if you go one way and I go another, I don't care. All right, let's go back to the beginning. Sinking the chi. The arms float in, palms turn down, all the way to the bottom. Beautiful. Now slide your hands over to the side, swaying out to the side, and then swaying back to the other side. My fingers just sort of brushing across my knees as I go, and my weight shifting from cheek to cheek. I reach out and up and look back just a little bit, and then come back down. My hands brushing across my knees, my weight shifting over, then lifting up. We call this tossing the moon. Something we get from a very traditional Qigong exercise called the 18 moves. Shi ba shi, the 18 moves. Breathe in as you toss the moon up in the air. Once again, that moon, that yin element, we reach out for it. Across the body. Inhale and up. And then coming back to center, let your hands come back to your knees. Let them rest for a moment. And then sink the chi. Beautiful. Slide the hands forward. You're going to rise up in front, round out like a big hug. Inhale and open. Then with this hand on top, scoop under to catch that moon again. Then sliding one hand under the arm, toss that moon away into the corner. Good, roll it on back. Toss it away. The actual name of the movement is to tame or style the wild hair, like my wild hair, on the mane of the horse. Right? So I can feel each hair of the horse's mane as I stroke up and across and outward. One more time. Beautiful. Now, this hand on top, catch the moon again, and then toss into the other corner, sliding from under the elbow all the way out to the corner, and then reaching and gathering. Now, some of you have already started doing this, but noticing that you have an opportunity to sway back and forth from cheek to cheek here, shifting my weight from one side to the other side. Just like if you were standing up, stepping out, that's all you do, shift away from foot to foot. So you can do the same thing seated. Beautiful. One more time. Gather in. Slide it just like you could feel every hair on the horse's back. And then come back to center with a big hug right there. Inhale and open. The fingertips float back together, hands flatten, and float all the way down. And one last time, sink the chin. Breathe in. Breathe out. And thank you for joining me in that short seated Tai Chi workout. By my house, so they provided me with a bench that was very nice.